Hello there and welcome back to Utility Sports. Today's video, we are going to be going over an Atlanta Falcons 4-round mock draft. Now, the key in this is Atlanta's kind of the pivot point of the NFL draft. As we take a look and see what the results were through the first couple of picks, we have Trevor Lawrence going 1, we have Justin Fields 2, and Zach Wilson 3. In the NFL draft, I believe that Zach Wilson will be the second overall pick. But either way, you're kind of looking at the board thinking, well, you have Trey Lance available, you have Mac Jones available at this point. And I think it's pretty clear that if they do stick here at number 4, they are going to be targeting a quarterback. There are some potential rumors about the Atlanta Falcons possibly trading down, which I do deem likely. However, I think that for the purposes of this mock draft, that we will have them stick at 4. So outside of the quarterback position, let's kind of look at what they might potentially target, because I think it's kind of obvious that they are looking possibly at that quarterback position. But outside of that, they have Kyle Pitts still available. They have Jamar Chase still available with their selection. Penei Sewell's another option, Jalen Waddle, and the list goes on. But I think more realistically, we are looking at Jamar Chase and Kyle Pitts as possible options. However, I think Atlanta is good at the wide receiver position. Obviously, they have Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, Russell Gage, a couple of really, really nice players in that wide receiver room. Maybe in the future they do look to take a wideout after the Julio Jones era. However, right now I don't think they're really in a position to take one. Matt Ryan has 2 years left on his contract. I think that is very noteworthy. It's possible that he gets traded, after this season, because then he'll just have 1 year left on his deal, or a possible release. I'm not sure what the numbers would kind of look like for a Matt Ryan release, going into that final season. However, I do think it's likely that they, possibly move on from him. So the benefit, obviously, of drafting a guy like Trey Lance, high upside, you can sit him for a season, let him learn behind Matt Ryan. Obviously has a lot of the physical traits that you like. He's an athletic quarterback. He has a big time arm in terms of arm strength. Obviously, in his last full season, which was 2019, he was absolutely insane. 28 touchdowns, no interceptions, which that is just absolutely incredible. It's phenomenal. But it's unfortunate because we only got to see him play in one game this season, and he did not look particularly good in that game, which is a little concerning. But, maybe just trying to knock off the rust. I know a lot of people are quick to jump on guys for having bad games, like Justin Fields against Northwestern in that Big Ten championship, or even Justin Fields against the Indiana Hoosiers. So at that point, I mean, it's fair to knock particular games. He did not have a very, very good game this season. So it's unfortunate he only had one game to play. However, it is noteworthy. Trey Lance is going to be the selection here at 5. You give him a chance to sit behind Matt Ryan. I love the fit there in Atlanta. And they're ultimately just building for the future. We know that this season will likely not be a playoff season for the Atlanta Falcons. However, you're building towards the future. That's something that you can get really excited about. Trey Lance is one of those big time boomer bust prospects. Obviously has some things to work on. However, you feel pretty good at number 4 selecting him. At number 35, we have the Falcons picking, and they deem tight end as a number 1 need. I don't see it the same way. I think the edge is the number 1 need for this football team. I'm not sure if the Atlanta fans would agree. I'm kind of curious to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. What is the biggest need for this team? I think edge is definitely a pressing need. They've been trying to work on that position. Obviously, Vic Beasley showed some promise early on. It's no longer with the squad anymore. Obviously, it just did not work out for them. So let's kind of look at what's on the board. Jason Away, a guy that didn't have any sacks this past season. Carlos Basham's another guy. I was really impressed by some of his tape at the Senior Bowl. Phenomenal get off. Just he dominated some of those one-on-one drills. Peyton Turner, a guy that is deemed an edge. Very possible that he moves to that defensive tackle spot. Humongous frame. Definitely an exciting upside prospect. Ronnie Perkins, just very solid overall. So a couple of guys that are really noteworthy here. Obviously, Gregory Rousseau has been dropping in these rankings. I don't know if I would put him behind some of these guys here, if I'm being completely transparent. But I do think it's possible that he does have a little bit of a slide, considering he was an opt-out. So Gregory Rousseau, definitely an option here. Let's look at that corner spot. Definitely another noteworthy position. Kelvin Joseph has some athletic upside. Really, really fun prospect to watch. Aaron Robinson's another one. Asante Samuel Jr. has only got that 5'10 frame, but I mean, as a corner overall, he is a really, really fun prospect to watch. So at this pick 35, I think it's fair to say that you do need to go edge. Now, it's all determined of, who do you think is the best fit here? I honestly think that Gregory Rousseau could really fit into this Atlanta Falcons defense. I like him here at pick 35 for the Atlanta Falcons. And don't let that fool you. I don't think he's that 53rd best prospect. I think they are, a little low on him holistically, but I'm excited to see if Atlanta drafts him, what kind of upside can he bring to this future of the franchise. Now we're sitting at pick 68 with the Falcons. Obviously, we took the edge, so we kind of addressed that. I think it's fair to say let's look at the corner room. Benjamin St-Juste is another guy from the University of Minnesota. Good upside. Definitely, he's got that 6'3" frame, long arms. Once again, at the Senior Bowl, he was one of the best corners there on those one-on-one drills. He did really, really good against some of the smaller receivers, the bigger receivers. As a whole, he was probably the best corner during those one-on-one drills. So I think he's a potential option. Paulson Adebo is another guy from Stanford, really fun cover guy. I definitely think at the next level, he could be a successful corner for sure. Some of the other positions that they might look at here at this spot, possibly a running back. Obviously, they signed Mike Davis, Cordero Patterson, but don't rule out a running back at this spot. I think they might wait one more round. Let's go ahead and opt for a corner. Paulson Adebo from Stanford is the definite fit here. St-Juste was a very, very good option with that pick 68. However, I think Paulson Adebo fits into Atlanta very well. I'm pretty excited about how this mock draft has looked to this point. I think the Falcons are getting a lot better with what we've been able to kind of construct for them. So honestly, I think that's a good draft thus far. I'm kind of curious to see what running backs are available with the next pick at pick 108. Let's take a look at the board, see what has fallen. Trey Sermon, definitely a guy that has been a later riser throughout the season. Obviously, he was huge for Ohio State. Ramondre Stevenson, another guy, Kylan Hill, Chuba Hubbard, who at one point was thought to be a lock for a first-round pick, and now he has slid quite a bit after this past season. So at this point, I think it's crucial that they do look at that running back spot long-term. I think Trey Sermon fits in really great with this team. Chuba Hubbard, I like his upside here at pick 108. Once again, it's possible that he does fall even further than this. So I'm actually going to go with Trey Sermon. He is probably my favorite running back that remains from Ohio State here. I think Atlanta does a really, really good job getting a running back to fit in with the eventual quarterback, Trey Lance. So obviously, we had a little bit of a focus on offense. We had 2 offensive picks. We had 2 defensive picks. As a whole, I really like what the Atlanta Falcons here were able to do with their selections. I'm going to go ahead and click my picks. We will see what our user picks were. Trey Lance at pick 4. I think great upside for him. A lot of this was banking on some upside with these first 2 picks because Gregory Rousseau could be edge number 1. Showed some production in his last season that he had played, but was obviously an opt-out. That is going to hurt his stock a little bit. Paulson Adebo and Trey Sermon round out the draft. I think that as a whole, this is a really, really good draft for the Atlanta Falcons. And if you enjoy the content, please leave a like on this video. It's really important for you to do that, to see that we're doing a good job here at Utility Sports. Also subscribe if you do like these team mocks. We are going to be doing a live stream during the NFL draft, so obviously tune in for that. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys in the next video.